Now, I know the Dead by Daylight 10th anniversary is pretty bad. You've already seen multiple different videos about it, I'm sure, covering the multiple lengths of issues that it is having, mostly on how it overbuffs survivors while killers barely get anything interactive, which, yes, problem, oopsie. However, I want to talk about the things that are kind of good from it. Mostly to be different, and also so that every single video about the event isn't the exact same thing, but please understand the entire gameplay aspect of the event is a complete and utter failure, and I am kind of embarrassed that Behavior released it. But let's cover the 4 things that are actually pretty good that I'm personally enjoying. Number 1, the marketing is really good. I don't know if how many people actually look at their marketing besides me. I'll have their Twitter on the screen, because that is the closest that I can get. But leading into the 10th anniversary, 1, the banners, excellent artwork, absolutely lovely. Ignore the Monica in the corner, but I've been absolutely loving it. The teasers leading into the anniversary were really good, especially with that initial, like, ooh, welcome to the banquet table video that I'm currently, like, especially this video that they played during the Summer Game Awards. Very much enjoyed this video. I thought it was absolutely wonderfully done, beautifully recorded. Everyone has since gone back to trying to figure out what was teasing what for the anniversary reveals, and it was just mwah. Absolutely beautiful of a video, especially this little end segment about come to the dinner, which teases the anniversary itself, which is just awesome. Of course, the advertising there doesn't stop. The Twitch drops, which you can get from watching me on Twitch, smile, if you don't have them already. But there was also this little video. I think this plays when you load up the game for the first time, and this was beautiful. The fact that they use the knife that Legion now has as like a kind of like the ceremonial knife, I think that's the Legion skin that's at the very front there. Absolutely wonderful. I love this. It's just a really made trailer, and especially when you look at some of the older trailers they've made, they definitely put in a lot of high effort production value for these. Because as far as I'm aware, this is the last anniversary event they're doing before that graphical rework, so they're kind of like using the models before they get deleted. So absolutely wonderful. I loved this. Very pretty. Just, it's so well done, dude. Which kind of brings me into the next point. The other thing I've been really enjoying is the theme of the event. I am a massive lore lover of the game. When I go back into being not full-time job, because I'm quitting on the 10th of July, I am going to be working more on making videos about things I just like about Dead by Daylight and characters and lore, and going more into depth about things I just find enjoyable outside as gameplay. And the lore is one of them, and one of my favorite aspects is the Black Veil, who hasn't really been utilized. They're kind of like a recurring character, but they haven't been utilized to an extreme degree. The Plague originally founded it, or at least supposedly founded it, and then that's kind of been the offset of how they keep trying to please the entity, and they're like a cult following somewhat recently, about 2 years ago at this point. Tori Kane came into the fog, who is a Black Veil member who failed the final step of becoming a full-time member and got taken by the entity during that moment, which is a really cool lore piece. And we've had other characters like Twins was a major one for how they were actually they were basically groomed into being a killer. Really fucked up, but interesting lore tidbits. And this being a celebration of the Black Veil with a big cannibalistic feast, having them spread out around the realm. Currently, when making this video, there's only been 2 extra archives things, which I will go into as something that's really cool, developing more of the lore, such as the cop stumbling upon the Black Veil ceremony and showing that the Black Veil is everywhere and corrupt and running the governments of the world, is that they get swept under the rug, and they're like, this is getting moved to a different department, forget about it, don't worry about it, not your jurisdiction, which is kind of just yeah, we could do what we want, which also goes into Jonah's lore, which I really want to make a video on, because I find Jonah fascinating as a character. But the skins have been really good. I wish they did more characters, which is one of the issues of the event, is that they didn't. We get less skins than ever before. Once again, I don't know why they halved everything. The badges and banners don't make up for actual cosmetics, I'm sorry. because you can mix match cosmetics, you can't mix match banners and badges as well, or as well as actual full-scale cosmetics like a mask or whatever. But the theme, I really hope they do this theme for at least 2 more anniversaries. They tend to do that about every 2 or 3 anniversaries. They swap to a different theme, and I've been really enjoying this one. So please don't take the negative reception as that the theme is bad. People didn't like the initial Masquerade either until the 2nd edition, and then it became a fan favorite. So please keep the theme, behavior. The morsels themselves, I think, is interesting from a gameplay point. The problem of the event is the amount of things that survivors get in comparison to the killer and the strength. Because killers only get poison, while survivors get free endurance, free sprinters, teleportation that the killer can't follow you through consistently, invisibility, insta healing, things like that. A lot of that is a problem and something that needs to be addressed for next year. However, the idea of grabbing food and bringing it to the cart is kinda neat, but more importantly, more of just the food models is something that I really like. I like how it's like actually body parts. Like it is a foot and a hand and a third one that I'm forgetting, but it's like it's an actually fascinating part of the theme is the morsels and having to bring it around the map. Imagine being a survivor in that point. I know this is going to be into a I don't care about this, I don't care about gameplay thing. I don't care about immersion, but like being a survivor and grabbing like an actual human foot and having to bring it to a dinner plate to please the entity so it grants you a buff. Fascinating. I love the implications of that. I love the implications of lore and being disgusting and how a lot of the survivors just go, okay, sure, I guess we're doing this now. I think a good idea for next year is to get rid of gens and hooks entirely, increase the morsel count to like 24 or something, and make it to where the killer's job is to stop the meal from being prepped in the entire first place. And the poison, when you poison the carts and whatnot, make it to where like you instantly get teleported to start chase, or like the stars get injured, or something that's more around like bringing the food to the center table. And I would make it to where like the main building gets replaced every single map with the table that has set tiles that spawn around it. And the idea is to get the morsels from the edge of the map into the inner table while the killer defends it. This would obviously make killers like Singularity and Skull Merchant and Hag really strong for this game mode, but it would also make other killers like Blight and Billy have the good mobility to go around the morsels instead of just sitting in the center. But I find this a lot more fascinating than just do gens and get hooks again and make it actually worthy of a separate game mode modifier, similar to 2v8 or the upcoming zombie and 1v1 modes. Of course, they might not be able to do that for next year, or they might just repeat the same event because it's easy and makes it to where people actually play it. But personally, I think if they want to keep doing the gens and hook stuff, there's normal 1v4 for that. And you can only release this event 3 times before you swap themes, because that's what you always do. So, well, come on, behavior. Lastly, I really want to give props to that archive thing. I don't know if you noticed, but when you open the game sometimes, it shows you a little envelope that was inviting a dedicated Black Veil member to the fog. Obviously, that is the player, but I really enjoyed it. And then they did a second one where it's like a police report, and I'm really excited to see I think it's another 5 that are up and coming. I'm really excited to see what those are. I'm a lore nerd, so I think it's lovely. I love that they're shoving the lore in people's faces. I love that it's like 3D items that you can look at and that they've spent time modeling. It's really cool. It's the little things that get to me. I really hope behavior like does this not just for this event, but for future events, or even just the normal Rift itself, because it's a really cool addition. I think it's going to make people care about the lore more, because it's like, 1, in your face, but 2, it's like a model that you can look around and see, and a more interesting model or more interesting items or something that's more personal to the characters than just overall Black Veil stuff that people don't really know about if they're not like actually in it, would make people want to delve more into the world of Dead by Daylight. Now, I am probably going to make a separate video on this as well, because I find the conversation fascinating, but I noticed I've barely played the event, and one of the reasons I'm waiting is because I want all the challenges come out because I don't like the event. But I noticed when watching Oddstarva that the poison, which when I played my 1 match of Survivor, I didn't get poisoned a single time, or if I did, I didn't even notice it. There's this bar, and this bar is, the more you run, it goes down, and when it goes all the way down, you get like massively hindered. And it makes me think that behavior is testing a stamina system. They want to see how people react to this bar. They want to see if people like the idea of it, or if it's something that people want to see as a perk or power. And then I have a feeling it's going to come back as either a perk, a hindered rework, or an exhaustion rework. Those are kind of the main three. I think this is an idea for an exhaustion rework, which makes me scared, because that inherently buffs not just exhaustion perks, because then it's like you get to use the speed like multiple times kinda, but also it buffs killer add-ons, because every killer has the make a survivor exhausted add-on, and if it applies to the status effect and not the perk itself, you're going to be seeing this every game, and which is going to make Vigil even more important of a meta slot to make it wear off faster. But it's also going to add more depth to looping, which it could go either way, because God keep in mind, every single other asymmetrical game has died because of the stamina bar being a major factor of that, because people don't like it. People don't like moving slow. It's boring. It's aggravating. The resource management is fun for very, very few selected people. I am one of them, but for the average player base, this sucks. So if this does come to the game, I hope it's like done in an interesting way through like a perk, and not like a base kit mechanic like hindered exhaustion or just normal gameplay. Although I'm willing to try it. I personally, I like to keep an open mind. I'm very looking forward to the dynamic weather changing gameplay, because I think that's going to be fascinating. Maybe that's what this correlates to. Maybe this is like if it's raining or muddy, it makes it harder to move and then you get slowed easier. Maybe they're doing that. Who knows? But I think it's going to be interesting. I'm interested to hear y'all's thoughts about this part, as well as anything else that you like about the event. I know a lot of people don't like it. I could rant for about 20 more minutes about all the issues the event actually has, but everyone else has made a video about that, and I want to throw behavior a bone. These are the parts I like. I'm interested to see what you do with this. Please send me more stuff on the playtester portal, because I'm on there, and I would love to test more things. Yeah, I'm also, next week, I want to delve deeper into Shane. Not just as a character, but also the representation that he adds, his 3 perks, and how all 3 of them are off-meta picks and things like that. So expect that next week, or whenever I get around to it, because I am one lazy bastard. But yeah, again, tell me what you think about the event. I hope it's I hope y'all are enjoying it to the best of your abilities. And I will probably be live later today, although I posted a deadlocked video the day that I'm recording this. I'm probably going to post this like on Tuesday or Wednesday instead of the same day, because algorithm, I do need to pace things out just a little bit.